all illegal entry will immediately be halted, and we will begin the process of returning millions and millions of criminal aliens back to the places from which they came.
That is the president this morning promising to crack down on illegal immigration.
So what could that look like? WCCO is dedicating a team of reporters to dig into these stories. Today, Jonah Kaplan investigates how our current deportation process works.
The past several years have been frustrating. It's been super emotional.
Nathan Kintu came to Minneapolis from Uganda for college in 2012 on a student visa. He fell in love with the U.S., and he fell in love. His wife, Victoria, is also a Ugandan immigrant. But here's where things get complicated. Victoria had a green card, but that doesn't transfer through marriage. And Kintu's student visa was about to expire. That was in 2020.
In order to get a green card, you have to have a work permit.
Yes.
In order to have a work permit, you have to have work. But you can't get work as a student with a student visa.
And they don't have a job to pay a lawyer to go through the process. You feel like you're going to be deported anytime, you're going to leave the country, they're going to take you out of the country.
According to U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, Kintu's case is just one of 7.6 million non-citizens on the agency's docket, each one unique, and many of them really complicated. All of these people technically can be deported, but in most cases, a federal immigration judge is the one to make that call. How ICE learns about these immigrant cases, that's complicated too. In Minnesota, ICE agents could get a call from Customs and Border Protection, either at the northern border or one of our other ports of entry, think MSP International Airport. ICE could also get involved if a non-citizen is pulled over for a speeding ticket or arrested on criminal charges. It's often up to local police or the sheriff, though, to let ICE know about it. Other times, ICE might work off a tip and investigate a business. The non-citizen could be detained in the county jail, and in Minnesota, just 3 contract with ICE. If they're not there, the non-citizen could be monitored in some other fashion, like a GPS tracker or phone check-ins. If there's a low flight risk, they may not even be tracked at all, as long as they show up for their hearings. There's one federal immigration court in Minnesota. In Fort Snelling, there are 7 judges.
Is there any way for an executive order to get rid of that right to a hearing?
No, there's not.
Graham Ojala Barber is an immigration attorney in St. Paul. Only Congress can change how the current system works, not an executive order.
ICE has to decide their priorities, and it's been the case that people who have criminal records, for example, are often sought out by ICE for arrest. But if the new administration wants to deport, everyone who is illegal, it's going to completely jam their ability to actually focus on the people who should be priorities.
That's the case already in Minnesota. In ICE's St. Paul region, roughly 1,900 non-citizens were detained last year, more than 80% of them facing charges or convicted criminals. According to ICE, 1,700 were deported.
Not all countries take deportees. Like there are, like Cuba, for example, it's really difficult, or Somalia, it's difficult for ICE to deport people to countries where there's a complicated diplomatic relationship. So, and often people sort of languish in jail for many months while ICE tries to arrange travel documents, and that can be expensive also to taxpayers.
Nathan Kintu's case lingered in immigration court for nearly 5 years, and the best news arrived just last Wednesday. He's finally got his green card.
Oh man, I don't know how to explain it. It was magical. It felt like I'm free.
Jonah Kaplan, WCCO News.
Immigration court is not like criminal court. Everyone who works there is an employee of the Department of Justice and appointed by the Attorney General.